mañana somos dos desconocidos con ganas de besar.
How are you guys? You good? It's weird because I don't know if
Parlar italiano?
Oh, we're so happy to be here. We're so honored and grateful. Thank
It's
you
our
for
first time working here in Italy. We've come before to eat all the pizza and all the pasta in the world, and now we're here for the first time working, and it's very exciting. We have our first show tomorrow, so
it feels good.
It feels great.
It feels good. It's
our first time in a place outside where we don't really speak the language.
Exactly.
So we've done interviews in English and interviews in Spanish, but we've never done it in a place where you know it's not our spoken language. So that's cool.
So thank you so much for coming. Thank you for taking the time to be here. We're excited. Like Rick was saying, it's our first show, so we're coming with like an extraordinary amount of energy to be able to perform tomorrow.
That's us there.
The first ones. We're the first ones in the festival.
But we shaved our head.
So you can not tell us apart. You know, it's hard. Everybody thinks we're twins when we look like that, but you can differentiate because I had curly hair and Rick had straight hair. And now we shaved it, so to make it harder for you guys to tell which one's Mao, which one's Ricky.
We were scared that when we would shave the head, we would lose the ability to sing. You know?
And we
like
didn't.
So we're fine.
So thank God.
It's fine. So
I'm Mao, by the
tomorrow.
way. I'm Mao. He's Ricky. Just in case you were wondering.
Hello,
Hi.
My name is Vanessa by Milano Etno TV, and my question is, what do you expect of the Italian public, and what do you think about Italian people?
So
Thanks.
we've been fans of Italian music for our entire life. We grew up listening to Eros and Laura our entire lives, and now we really look up to a lot of artists that are killing it right now. So Fedes, obviously, Zucchero, we were talking about Zucchero just now. Also, Mao yesterday talked with Ricky. We're gonna meet Baby K in a little bit as well.
We're excited.
So it's exciting.
Yeah.
We don't know what to expect because we've never performed here before. So we don't know we don't know how the public is, but I hope it's as warm as the Italian people are, because you guys are it's very similar to us in Latin America where you know it's hugging and kissing and you know it's that culture of the mom cooking family, you know. So I think it's gonna be a very loving show.
Thanks.
Hopefully.
Thank you so much.
So you guys were recording stuff before, I saw you on the Instagram stories.
Yeah.
What are you up to?
So, we love, obviously, we're songwriters, and we love making music every chance we get. Lately, we don't have as much time as we used to because we're traveling so much. So, when they told us, when we first met the Sony Music Italy team, they told us we have a really cool studio in Italy, in Milan, and we're like, that's super interesting. Usually that's like telling us, that's like telling a kid that there's toys and that there's like candy or whatever. For us, it's like, oh, there's a studio, and our eyes already light up because that's kind of where we like to spend the most time. And so when we got here yesterday, we had a couple of hours to rest and to kind of get used to the time change and everything, and instead of resting we said let's go to the studio and let's make some music. We thought actually we were just gonna record a song that we needed to record, but instead we ended up writing a song that for us is one of the best things we've done in a very long time, and we do think that it has a lot to do with Milan and with Italy and what it inspires in us, you know.
Question. The first one is about this album. Where did you get the inspiration for the music and for the text for the song? And the second one is that you collaborated with a lot of artists such as Miguel Bosé, Maluma, and stuff like that. Is there still one that you would like to collaborate with and not yet?
Okay, so the inspiration for this album came from, you know, life. We've we've understood that the secret in songwriting, more than telling people our life and our story, is telling people their story through our music. So we want people to be able to listen to our songs and say, oh, I've lived this, or this is happening to me now, you know. So the inspiration was kind of getting different things that we had lived and putting it in a way for people to be able to relate to it when they hear it, you know. This generation, our generation, is kind of our inspiration, you know. The kind of things that we live. Dating today is different than dating before, you know. It's not as common to send love letters through mail anymore, you know, and we would sometimes write songs about that because what we would listen to from past generations talked about that. But now we've realized it's like, okay, we gotta be a little bit, get with the program and get with, so we kind of wanted to tell the story of different things we've lived, but through the eyes of the people, through our music. It's like kind of like this we want people to listen to it and feel like, well, how did they know this about me, you know? So that's kind of our biggest inspiration when we write songs, the reaction of what the other person's gonna get once they hear our songs.
And in terms of the artists, because we've been songwriters for such a long time, and we've written songs for artists like you were saying, Ricky Martin and Maluma and Miguel Jose and etc. We've kind of created a really beautiful relationship with a lot of these artists. You know, we're the type of artists that like to collaborate with people not only that we're friends with, but also that we really admire and that we look up to. I think that that is the key in general in life, but in our case in music, I think people could really feel if the two artists actually bond and connect, and when there's just two artists that are put together for this will do good numbers, let me just put them together. In our case, we feel that we want to do music with people we love and people we admire, and that's how we kind of chosen the people that we collaborate. Like
connection is the most important.
Exactly.
For us, for sure.
People can feel it. And I think that's why our songs, ever since we started thinking of things that way, that's why songs have kind of started to connect and to be of the people rather than ours.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I have a couple of questions too. First one, you tell me if I'm wrong, but I think you participate to a couple of cultures at least. You were
A couple what? I'm sorry.
Cultures.
Uh-huh.
You were born and raised until
Yeah.
8 or 10 years old in Venezuela.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right? And then you moved to the US in Florida.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if you feel like you're part of
Yeah. Yeah.
it. And the second one, as you were writing some before beginning to be performed.
Yeah.
So can you please tell us a little bit about this transition? How do you switch?
Mhm.
Oh, of course. So definitely the culture of being born in Venezuela and then being raised in the United States definitely played a part. Our family, though, for example, in my house, we weren't allowed to speak English. We were only allowed to speak Spanish at my house because we would speak English in school and everywhere else, and my parents wanted to make sure that we maintained our perfect Spanish. So at the house, when we would talk and they would hear us speaking in English, they'd be like, no, you gotta speak in Spanish, you know. So both cultures
was
were...
your mother? or father?
Yeah, our
My
mother
mom
and
and dad.
father, yeah.
Uh-huh.
For us, our culture, our Venezuelan culture was always very present, but obviously all of our friends being from the States opened our eyes to different types of music and different types of things that made us start, you know, soaking all of that stuff in to be able to write the music we do now. And definitely the transition between songwriters and artists, it didn't, it's not like we started writing because we're like, oh, this is what we want to do, and then all of a sudden, you know what, I want to start writing. What it was that we singing. What it was that we were singing before, but no one would listen to our music. So we wanted to be able to buy things and
To live.
eat. you know, and be able to be a grown up and have my own house or my own apartment. So we were like, how can we do this? Because no one's listening to our music. So the first chance we got to write a song for somebody else, we're like, all right, I don't know if I want to do this, but let's see what happens. And the first one was an artist called Italia, and from Mexico. And when we wrote that song, it went #1, and we're like, okay, so maybe we should, you know, look more into this. And then we did the Ricky Martin stuff, Becky G, and all the different other artists that you know that we wrote for. That made us also learn what languages or vocabulary worked with the people, and we're like, okay, so this song worked, why did it work? Okay, and we applied that into our music, and we released a song called Mi Mala, and that's the song that first connected for us about a year and a little bit more than a year and a half ago. And that's a song that changed our lives completely, and thanks to that song, all the other ones came, and we're able to be here in Milan for the first time to sing, you know.
We've been artists for 13 years. It's a long time. We started making our first album when I was 12 and he was 15. Now I'm 25, and it's crazy because God has a very particular way of working where in the moment we would get super frustrated throughout the years thinking, wow, why is this not picking up? And then now I look back and I'm like, thank God it didn't pick up before, and thank God it's happening now. And so it's crazy to think that 13 years later, we're here with you guys. It's awesome.
Saludos, yo soy Rafa de floitaliano.com. Es una plataforma básicamente de reggaetón muy urbana. Perdón si hago las preguntas en español, pero tengo un segmento en español. Hablando de álbum, yo me fijo mucho en los productores. Yo sé que ustedes están trabajando mucho con una leyenda que es Tiny. De hecho, acaban de sacar el tema con su papá, producido por Tiny, y escuchar a ustedes con su papá en ese ritmo, wow, el flow. ¿Con cuáles otros productores han trabajado en el álbum y tienes planes de trabajar?
So it's awesome that you mentioned Tiny. Tiny was actually one of the huge reasons why we got into this genre
sound,
and this sound. Before meeting Tiny, we had a different idea, and he opened our eyes completely. He's just awesome. He's a genius. And we've been able to work with people that like I was saying, that we really admire and that we love. There's one of the producers that's closest to us, which in my opinion and in Rick's opinion is one of the greatest producers. His name is John Leone. He's a French American Italian. Yeah, he's Italian. His dad, it's incredible. And he's super good, and we've kind of created this beautiful team of production and songwriting between us two, John Leone, Camilo, which is another songwriter, and our brother-in-law, and John and Tiny. And it's super cool because it's a team of people that admire each other and that love each other. And apart from that, they are the greatest people in their, like, Camilo's the greatest songwriter ever. John and Tiny are the greatest producers, so it's really cool to be able to work with them. We've also been working with lately with these producer and songwriter team that are Venezuelan called the Honeyboos, that we actually got the chance to work with for the first time pretty recently, and it's
cool to always be working with different people, and it's cool. I just realized this now, but knowing that there's John, for example, that's been killing it. He's behind Sin Pijama. That I think that's a gold record here, and it's a song that's completely in Spanish, and songs for Italia, and songs that are in reggaeton that are killing it, and he's actually half Italian.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. Yeah.
About Sin Pijama, ya que ustedes lo mencionaron, yo mezclo. Okay.
Yeah.
Mi curiosidad es la primera impresión cuando escucharon la canción grabada y la primera impresión después que vieron ese video.
El video. La canción grabada, we were there when Becky was recording her.
Wow.
Yeah. So we recorded her vocals. We heard not these after Daddy Yankee wrote her part, and it was awesome. When we heard it, we're like, oh, dude, this guy is amazing, and she's amazing. And the first time we saw the video, all I thought was dollar signs.
Oh, okay. Oh.
I said this is gonna be a huge success. It couldn't have been better.
They're that director of that music video is a very good friend of ours, and Becky's also a great creative, and so she's always not only making music, she's thinking of ideas and the concepts of the videos and everything. And so when I remember her telling us this idea before it actually came to life, so we didn't know how it was going to be brought, because a lot of times ideas aren't portrayed in the video the same way that you kind of envision it. And when we saw the video, the way that they made it super sexy but funny, that the twist at the end I thought it was perfect, and I thought it was genius from their part.
Ya que trajeron eso a la mesa, hablando de las artistas femeninas, yo creo que tenemos que felicitarlos porque ustedes fueron los primeros artistas masculinos en montar a artistas femeninas en un remix. Ni los urbanos, los reggaetoneros lo habían hecho antes, si no me equivoco. Después de ustedes vino Maluma, que montó a Becky en el remix, y Anita, si no me equivoco. Entonces, ¿cómo les surgió la idea de montar a Leslie, Becky y Lali en ese remix ganador? Y felicidades por hacerlo, porque las mujeres ahora mismo están ganando.
So, when we did Nimara Remix, that it was featuring 4 women, it was the first time that that many women had ever been in a Latin song before. And
together.
Together, and that is crazy to think, you know. And we didn't really do it with that purpose. We didn't know it was the first time that many females were in one song. So the song was already out, and we were doing an interview, and a guy told us, hey, so this is the first song, and we're like, what? It's the first song? And they're like, yeah, that's amazing. The way that came to be is that we were going to release 4 songs, and the concept was doing it all with female collaborations. Wow. And the second Mimara came out, and it was such a huge success, the label was like, let's not release these songs yet, let's just write out Mimara. And we're like, yo, but we have all these songs, and we're like,
girls that
why don't we just do a remix, and we invite all of them into this remix? Okay. And that's what happened. So Becky had already said she loved Mimara, and we had seen all these stories that had been posted from all the other girls, and we're like, hey, do you want to be a part of the remix? And they all said yes. We shot the video in Miami, you know, because we all coordinated the same day that everyone was free, you know, all these schedules and everything.
It's not easy to get so many people that have such
the
crazy
same free day, you know. And it was something like in January, it needed to be out in a month, and we're like, yo, do you have next week Thursday open? Yeah, okay, come. You know, it was something like that, but it was actually the song that changed our lives, so we're super happy that happened, and we're incredibly grateful. And I think that song actually did really big things also for Karol. That song did big things for Becky, Leslie, and Lali.
I think it's beautiful to see how women are killing, you know, and they're all our friends, you know. So for us, it's beautiful because we know how hard they work. We know how hard they've been grilling it, you know, like grinding it for so long.
All of the girls
on
the lineup we've worked with, which is Karol,
Anita,
and Anita.
So it's super cool. We actually love that every girl that right now is out. Not every girl. There's a lot that we would love to work with.
But most of the girls that are really high on the charts, we've worked with before. So
not only with Mimara, but Karol, we did Pineapple with her. Becky, we did Sin Pijama, Mal de la Cabeza, and a couple others.
Anita Medicina.
A lot of really cool stuff. Yeah.
For Vision Latina magazine, as a Peruvian, how was your experience collaborating with Leslie Show for the song Faldita?
Wow.
Oh, Leslie is amazing.
I love her so much. And again, we go back to females that are killing it. For us, Leslie is it's so funny because when we would work with her and when we work with her, she's always super grateful, You know, she's always
Great person.
a great person that is always super loving and grateful, and kind of like in this, I don't think she realizes a lot of times how much impact she has on us and on the world and everything, and I think it's beautiful to see that in her heart and in what she does. And
Peru is a huge country that we love so much.
Yeah.
We love Peru so much. We're actually going. We have a couple shows in July over there, so we're excited about that.
Thank you.
I'm a Peru.
And speaking about connection, I would like to speak about I think the most important connection between you, the fact that you are brothers.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to know how is that to make your career with your brother, and how is the workflow, if you have any workflow, if you divide work in a way, and also because you started with your father too, so it's a kind of family, very good family relationship that keep on being your point of inspiration.
Yeah,
I feel like the secret to any relationship is that in the foundation there is respect and admiration, you know, and I think the biggest challenge for any relationship of any working relationship is maintaining the egos down, because and realizing if he wins, then I win. You know, if, for example, we are in the airport and there is 10 fans and all 10 fans are in love with Mao, they're gonna
Which is usually not the case. They're usually
no. If they're all in love with Mao, I don't care, because the 10 of them are gonna buy the song anyway. You know, so I'm still gonna go to the show and I'm still gonna, you know. So if he wins, I win. If I win, he wins. And realizing that and recognizing that the person that you're working with is so much more talented than you are, I feel like that is a secret. Always looking up and admiring the person you're working with. And it's the same when it's your brother. You know, you always have to keep that respect and that relationship intact. You know, that's our secret, and I guess the workflow works that way as well. You know, knowing that his ideas are as valuable as yours, and complementing each other, you know, and being objective and saying, okay, maybe his idea works better for this song, or you know, or like, oh, you know what, I feel like my idea, okay, you know, I feel like that's a secret for sure.
And because we've been doing this for so long, that we've had such a vision for so many years and such a dream, I feel like the fact that we've dreamt together, that we have this dream, this vision of getting somewhere together, is actually that beautiful. I don't think I would enjoy this career if I didn't have my brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I don't think I think it'd be extremely lonely. It'd be pretty harsh. This career there's a lot of up and downs, and being able to share it with someone and being able to say when we're down, laugh about it or cry about it together is different than having just being there
by
alone
yourself.
and crying by yourself. It's not as fun as crying with someone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So in a YouTube video, you said that you always wanted to be number one,
Yeah.
not just in Venezuela or Latin America, but in the whole world.
Yeah.
Nowadays, that's actually possible because a
Yeah.
big part of the music industry is heavily Latin-oriented.
Yeah.
So from your perspective, where are we going to? Where is the music industry moving to?
I feel like the Latin music playing such a big part in the world
Right.
is due to the fact that people are also on one side so used to bad news everywhere, and Latin music kind of makes you feel good and makes you want to dance and etc. You know, and that's important. I feel like that's gonna continue to happen, and Latin music is gonna continue to have a big role in the world, and hopefully lots of Maui Reiki music, and we definitely have that number one in our, you know, in our mind and projection, but I feel like we were songwriting with a friend of ours, and he's like, you know, I don't care about being number one. He said I don't care about being number one. I just want to be in the bus with the person. You know, I like Like, I don't care if I'm not in the first row, but I don't care if I'm in the 10th row, but I want to be in the bus. Wherever we're going, I want to be in it. In our case, we do want to be in the first row, but I feel like being in the bus is what's important. Some songs you'll be number one in the bus, and some other times you'll be on the 3rd row, 4th row, 5th row, 10th row, 11th row. But it doesn't matter. As long as you're in the bus, that's what's truly important.
And I think that in that video, I know exactly which video you're talking about.
Yeah.
There is the way that it was edited. It didn't allow us to keep saying what we were wanting to say in the sense
I don't know what video
that is the YouTube
Artist on the Rise. Yeah.
We want to be number one without sacrificing our values and without sacrificing who we are and what we believe in. You know what I'm saying? I think that number one doesn't really mean anything as long as you're not happy. You know, and we want to make sure that we are number one, but most of all that we're happy while doing it. You know what I'm saying? I think that the reason why we want to be number one is not so much for that ego of saying number one, it's mostly because we understand that the purpose we have in life and in this world is not necessarily just be, oh wow, I make music. It's we believe that music is the vehicle for us to be able to touch people's lives with our example, with who we are, with what we are as brothers, and through the message of love in general.
But did you get an idea about this whole Latin movement, Latin explosion in the world, in the music worldwide? I mean, what's next? What's the future of this whole movement? What do you think will be next?
I feel like there's a lot of new talent, and and the thing about us in Latin America is almost a little bit like when you get invited to a party, you know, when you invite a Venezuelan to a party, for example, he will make sure he's known that he's there. You know, he's loud. He's always dancing, and once you invite him once, you start realizing that he's showing up to every single party that you're going to. You know, and that's a little bit, I think, that what's gonna happen. You know, there's this Latin explosion that's happening right now, but for now to the end, you'll see the charts, and there's always gonna be music in Spanish.
Yeah.
You know,
I think there was always a huge separation of kind of like this is Anglo market, this is Latin music, and I feel like Latin music was always looked down on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now I believe that it's just gonna become one, and I believe that what's next is not gonna be like, oh, this is pop in English, this is pop in Spanish, this is pop. I think it's just gonna be pop
just
in
music
general.
in general, without genres, without
without language barriers or anything like that. And I think that's beautiful. I think that's awesome.
You mentioned bad news before.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if you still have contacts with people in Venezuela, if you ever go back there, if you have any idea of what the mess that is happening.
Yeah, of course. We have a lot of family that's in Venezuela and friends, and we're obviously up to date with, or try to be up to date with absolutely everything. While you're on the road, it's not as easy, you know, and a lot of times we'll be here and on tour. It's like, oh, did you hear what happened yesterday? I was like, what did, you know, and like.
And
you
so
find
much
out
happens that it's also
but definitely we're definitely aware. We're definitely in a moment right now where we feel like there is hope. Stuff that's happening that I feel like is really gonna start changing things, but definitely sad with everything that's going on, and hopefully it's gonna come to an end very, very, very soon. But yes, we do have family over there and friends, you know, for sure.
What about to be the first in a very large festival like this one with 31 concerts with people like Ozuna, Bad Bunny, Daddy Yankee? You are the first. Tomorrow you open.
It's incredible. I think first of all, to be considered inside the incredible names that are on this festival is insane to us. I can't believe not only that we're a part of it, but we're a part of it this year, and that it's happening earlier than we could have even imagined. And also another thing that for us is super crazy is that I had never seen a festival that was this long. You know, it's extremely long, and I love that. I think that it's an incredible taste of Latin music and of the Latin culture for a whole month, you know. And I feel like Rick was saying, us Latin people, we just have this happiness kind of attached to our music, and we have this warmth that I believe it's contagious, you know. So being a part of this festival and being able to be one of the incredible artists on this is a huge honor. So thank you also for inviting us and for having us be part of this and being the first ones, because we're about to set the bar very high for the rest of the, I'm kidding, I don't know what I'm saying.
No, but yeah, we're gonna leave everything on the stage. We always obviously it's as a joke, but we always say, let's make sure the bar is set really high, and the person that comes after us is like, oh man, we gotta get our shit together, you know. ¿Cómo están? Somos Mau y Ricky, y a toda la gente de Visión Latina les mandamos un beso muy grande. Los queremos.